Welcome to my channel Cine Chills. Let's enjoy the explanation of the movie. This is definitely a horror movie you can't miss. A little monk went to beg for alms and accidentally entered a temple. In the gloomy environment, there was a wave of gloom. Curious little monk slowly walked forward to check the dark hall. The villagers were praying with their hands together. The monk in the middle slowly stood up. The little monk showed a horrified expression. The villagers turned their rotten faces and looked at him. Turned out that the temple was full of dead spirits. The little monk turned around to escape, but was dragged to the ground by a mysterious force. He silently recited scriptures and was alert all around, but his head was flicked. The little monk endured the fear and looked back. The dark soldiers were shaking. The little monk turned around to check the rhythm. The evil spirits in the temple had already. He put a rope around the monk's neck and hung him at the gate of the temple. This horrific incident spread quickly. No one dared to get close to him. Several internet celebrities heard about it and planned to hype it up to increase their fame. The driver saw the monk in the rearview mirror. The internet celebrity who was celebrating saw a strange scene but found that he had no head. The driver, who thought he had seen a ghost, fell into coma instantly. The bizarre traffic accident happened unexpectedly. The three people who regained consciousness learned from the doctor that their friend had broken his head and died on the spot. The three were very curious. Everyone else was fine, so why were they seriously injured? Did they have a death attribute? This time, a mysterious monk found them. You originally planned to go to the ghost temple to broadcast live, so you were unlucky to find 4 people and you will die one after another accidentally. The only way to resolve it is to go to the ghost temple to receive precepts. After hearing this, Adong wanted to jump up and curse. If you go, you'll die, and if you don't go, you'll die too. Are you sure you're not kidding us, old man? The old monk didn't explain and took out the mysterious Buddha string and handed it to Adong. The 3 of them came to the ghost temple with trepidation. The local master arranged a room for them alone. Adong was dumbfounded when he opened the door. Who would put all kinds of Buddha statues in a normal room? When he changed his clothes, he found that the Buddha amulet on his neck was missing. A ghost hand dragged something under the bed. He looked down following the sound and found that the Buddha amulet was under the bed. Adong stretched out his hand to salvage it, and the ghost hand placed the Buddha statue right in front of him. The sudden noise scared him so much that he even practiced his hind legs. Is this a hint to Adong or Zamawi? On the other side, Amin's room was normal. Just as he was packing his luggage, he heard stomping sounds behind him. He turned his head and looked out of the corner of his eye, and the black feet had disappeared. Amin slowly pulled off the yellow cloth to confirm that there was a picture of a monk on it. The windows were quickly closed at this time, and the ashes in the tin were completely scattered. Amin turned his head in fear and became even more afraid. The bed he slept on turned out to be a coffin. The 3 of them ran out of the room at the same time. They refused to spend the night here. They secretly gave tips to change their accommodation. They thought they were completely safe. Unexpectedly, the master told them that there would be a funeral ceremony in this house tonight. Although it was scary, it was better to have more people than to live under the same roof with ghosts. At midnight, several masters were using their magic power to perform the funeral. There was a heavy knocking sound from the coffin. The gentle master slowly took off his glasses. The provoked master stood up, pressed his hands on the wooden board, and silently chanted a spell. The evil spirit suddenly rushed out of the coffin and knocked the master's power back into his body. At the same time, all the ropes with magic power broke. The old man quickly stood up and left the hall. When everyone left, the unaware Amin was still broadcasting live and showing off that he was at the funeral. Fans said that his face was turning black and he should leave. But the heat of the live broadcast room made him forget the danger. A black hand stretched out from the coffin behind him. He looked back and didn't find that he was still interacting with fans. After hearing this, the evil spirit lifted the lid of the coffin and then forcibly closed the lid, making a violent crash. coffin also fell to the ground. This time Ming believed it. He was scared and called Dong and Le to check carefully, who knew that the coffin was empty and the body inside was missing. They planned to ask the host for help, but they heard something even more terrifying. Anyone who came here to receive the precepts would die accidentally. Closer the day of receiving the precepts is, the more frequent the evil spirits appear. It's scary. Dong unconsciously picked up the Buddha statue given by the ghost hand. Les' legs cramped when he was afraid. The unlucky Ming was innocently harmed. The next day, Dong, who participated in the cremation, showed fear on his face. He put one black hand on the coffin and then stood up with the help of the force. The raging fire did not hurt him at all. Crowd's call made him when he came to his senses. The evil spirit had disappeared. The young master saw that he looked unusual and came to ask. Adong thought it was not the dead who was making trouble because the evil spirit had many tattoos on its arms. It was probably someone else's evil spirit. Amin stamped his feet after hearing this. They planned to complete the ordination time ahead of schedule. Adong stayed up late to chant sutras. Unexpectedly, a large number of Buddha statues appeared behind him. Ingchichi's reaction woke Adong up. He was scared and was about to get up and leave. A black shadow flashed from behind. He was about to rush over to check. A hand stretched out from the darkness to stop Adong. Seeing the lay disciple, Offing was relieved. Adong complained that people would scare people to death in the middle of the night, but Offing, contrary to his usual behavior, stared at the Buddha amulet on Adong's neck and asked him, "Is it uncomfortable to wear?" The next second, the rope slowly tightened around his neck, as if being strangled by an invisible hand. Before Adong could turn around, the blue boy instantly turned into a demon and attacked. He killed anyone who was receiving the precepts. The same time, the abbot was chanting in the hut. The same sound was heard from all around. Turned out that the evil spirit was sitting in the back. The next day, Adong woke up and was already in the temple. The young monk told him that the abbot had passed away. The only major event was an inexplicable death. Two young disciples were very sad because they had to send their master back to their own temple. He planned to help the three of them complete the birthday ceremony tomorrow. On the way back, they found a strange photo. Pay attention to the Buddha amulet worn by the monk. It was exactly the same as Adong's. Seems that this matter needs to be asked by the older generation. Fing took them to find his grandfather. Unexpectedly, the old man really knew. As early as 8 years ago, a mother brought her son a Kang to receive the precepts. The villagers carried him in a lively manner. Entering the temple, a strong wind suddenly blew up around him. A thunderbolt kicked out from the sunny day and hit the stone sculpture above his head. The falling debris hit a Kang. The boy who was receiving the precepts died on the spot. Turned out that he had done too many bad things that were worse than trance. They couldn't even enter the temple gate. The man who died unjustly was very angry and turned into an evil spirit to take revenge on other ordained people. But the poor mother spent 8 years practicing hard, praying and cleaning in the temple every day, just hoping that her sons would complete the ordination. At the same time, just hoping that her sons would complete the ordination. The same time, the young monk found that the master in another photo was the monk they met in the hospital. Adong recalled the old man's greedy words and instantly understood that if he wanted to resolve the curse for himself, he must first help others to be good. So they planned to ordain a Kang to eliminate the curse. Everyone smashed the bushes in the backyard of the temple and waited for the evil spirit a Kang to appear at midnight. Adong quickly asked the young monk to start the ceremony. "Only the authorized master can do this." But my master has already smiled and stepped forward. Kang was not happy after hearing this. "You smash it. You took my coffin and asked me to take the risk to show up. Now you say I can't be liberated. Please tell me loudly how you want to die." Who knows, the words suddenly change. The little monk holds the tablet. In the video, there is a tattooed Big. The senior brother planned to let him receive liberation from the evil spirit. Ripples appeared on the screen as if being disturbed by something. The ceremony also ended at this moment. The anxious people kept asking, "Are you really going to the bathroom with a lantern?" The next second, the evil spirit grabbed Adong's neck. Because of this situation, he was lucky that Akang's mother showed up in time. She didn't want her son to hurt others again. For so many years, the woman also figured out that receiving the precepts is not more important than being liberated. The mother's obsession has been affecting her son, causing Akang's anger to become more and more serious. He hopes that his son will respect his wishes. Kang finally heard this sentence. He lay beside his mother and was completely liberated. Not long after, several people also completed the longevity knot. Just when the three were about to leave, a dead master was sent. The little monk came over and remembered another horror legend. The monks could not leave the temple. Anyone who wanted to leave would die accidentally. This is also the content to be discussed next. The film ends here. It's over. Actually, this movie reminds me of a topic. Why do most parents always impose their own ideas on their children? The last word is for your own good. The starting point of parents is good-hearted, but they don't fully consider whether the children can accept it. It is precisely because of this that the children have a great burden and psychological burden. Most parents are busy with work and tend to let their children get the education they need, but they ignore family companionship. In some senses, companionship is very important, but most parents always take their own ideas as the starting point and actively attach them to their children. Therefore, the lack of educational concepts has ignored the inner growth of children. As the saying goes, if you don't listen to the advice of the elderly, you will suffer. In fact, it is not that parents impose their own ideas on their children, but that parents have experienced many setbacks and failures, have walked more paths and have seen more accurately, so I want to tell my own experience and lessons to my children, and let them avoid detours through my own ideas. But from the perspective of children, they have not experienced these things, so they think that parents impose their ideas on them. In fact, their intentions are good, but they don't communicate attentively. There is a saying that life is a staged growth, just like a staircase. You need to cross it step by step. Every setback can make you grow up. The so-called Tao can be said, but it is not the Tao. Everyone has his own Tao. You can refer to the ideas of your parents and then learn and transform them according to your own experience. This is the best way to grow. Our video today ends here. If you like it, please subscribe, follow, and support me. See you in the next movie.